What has been a tremendous homestand continues tonight. Tuesday night in lower downtown Denver, the Rockies getting ready to take on the San Diego Padres. The Rockies' 10-game winning streak came to an end yesterday, 6-4, but the Rockies still 14 games above 500, chasing San Diego in the National League West. The Padres a half game up on the Giants, who were idle yesterday, and they're the Rockies just 2.5 back and 3.5 back in the competitive wild card. Hi, everybody. Glad you're along again with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. Time to break down the schedules a little bit and look to what's left with all of the teams that are contending. And the one team that stands out in terms of having a beneficial schedule right now, the Giants. A lot of games at home.
Well, there's no question. The Giants do have the advantage of that. But when the Rockies go head-to-head against some of these teams, and what does it look like when they go? The big three series that I'm staring at right now, and it's pretty obvious, I think, to everyone. The LA series, where the Rockies have struggled at Dodger Stadium, going 2-4. Then you think when San Francisco comes in, they've played very, very well. And then to take on the Dodgers here in that last 4 ball games in St. Louis, depending on how they play, if they're going to be in a situation where you get there, and it's kind of like LA a year ago. You've got to sweep to get into the playoffs.
Well, you know what, the good thing, you saw 7-9 at the new Busch Stadium. Rockies been pretty competitive there.
Well, they've been very competitive there, and against the Cardinals in particular. I think they've won 11 of the last 12 meetings. Tony doesn't want to play this team if the money's on the line to get to the playoffs.
Well, I like what was said by Miguel Tejada after last night's win. He said, we just beat the team that's the best team in baseball right now. So I don't know how many teams want to play the Rockies these days. When we return, we'll talk about tonight's starting pitcher, a fellow by the name of Jason Hamill, who's been real good this year. Couple autographs, and Ubaldo Jimenez ready to cheer on his teammates as the Rockies are getting ready to go against the San Diego Padres. Welcome back upstairs with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. Tonight it will be Jason Hamill against John Garland. And for Jason Hamill, when he's on the mound, the Rockies generally win.
They have a very good chance of winning. 16-10 on the year. The team is, when he starts, more importantly, 7-1 at home. He's won his last 3 starts against the San Diego Padres. 10-7 overall, 434 earned run average. So, I mean, this is one of those things that, you know, you look at him and you say, and scouts tell me this all the time, he has number 2 or 3 stuff, fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. He just happens to pitch in the 4th slot for the Colorado Rockies. He has excellent stuff.
And John Garland's a guy that has been a little outspoken lately. Had probably got under the skin a little bit of Bud Black, who would never say so publicly.
Well, I don't think so, and I think there's probably some meetings behind doors where they should be, and I think that's where you voice your opinions. He has won 130 games in the big leagues. He does know what he's doing.
Yep, he was a little disappointed what we're alluding to, and he was taken out of a ball game a couple of starts ago, he thought, prematurely. Let's go down to the field and check in with Alana Rizzo. Hey, Alana.
Hey, guys, thanks very much. Coming up for me in the ball game, loosen up. Why, that is Yorvit Torrealba's message to his San Diego Padres. And then double digits. Jason Hamill already has 10 wins on the year. A career high tonight if he gets win number 11. Why, that is not nearly his goal. That's coming up for me, guys.
Sounds good. Rockies looking to get another streak started. It is text to booth night as well. Rockies and Padres, come on back to Coors Field with us. FSN is brought to you by Quest High-Speed Internet. Get blazing fast speeds that won't burn up your wallet. By E470. Use E470 and you'll get to the airport with time to spare. By the Ford F-150. It's not just a pickup truck, it's a Ford F-150. Drive one. And by Brakes Plus, a whole lot more. Aaron Cunningham will lead things off tonight for the San Diego Padres. He is the 9th different leadoff man used this year by Bud Black. Take a look at the lineup that will follow Cunningham. His debut in the leadoff spot for the Padres. David Eckstein. Miguel Tejada, the hitting start last night. He had 3 hits and 4 ribbies. Adrian Gonzalez with a lot of thump in the middle of their lineup. Then the former Cardinal, Ryan Ludwig. Chase Headley. Nick Hundley is swinging the bat well. He did not catch last night. It was Yorvit Torrealba who was behind the dish. good athlete, Will Venable in center field, and John Garland batting ninth. That brought to you by Southwest.com. As we glance at the numbers, George, of Jason Hamill, once again a 10-game winner.
Yeah, very good. 10-7 overall record, 434 earned run average. Here's some interesting things, folks. Major League average against with runners in scoring position. This goes all the way back to May 29th. Hamill is fourth on that list with a 178 average. Halladay, Hamels, Wainwright, and then Hamill. So it tells you how good a job he's done in that situation. And against the Padres, 2009, he had 4 starts, didn't win or lose a ball game. This year he's had 4 starts, 3-0 in those starts.
First pitch is brought to you, as always, by Domino's Pizza. Text keyword pizza followed by a space and your name to 95323 to receive your Domino's special offer and to be entered to win a pizza party for 12. So the Rockies looking to start another run after losing last night 6-4. And for a while it looked like the Rockies may lose in a runaway, but they were the comeback kids again. Base hit by Cunningham on the first pitch of the ball game. Rockies trailed 5-0 last night, closed to within 5-4 with 4 innings to go, but could not score against that vaunted San Diego bullpen. So Cunningham with good speed reaches. The defense for the Rockies, same as last night. Gonzalez, Fowler, and Smith. Mora, Tulowitzki, Young, and Helton with Olivo behind the plate. 85 degrees game time temperature. Pretty warm evening here in mid-September. Good situational hitter in David Eckstein at the plate. Eckstein did not start yesterday, came into the ball game later on, and he takes a strike. One of the things you really come to appreciate about Jason Hamill is his ability to consistently throw strikes.
And that was a problem with him in Tampa before he came to the Rockies. So credit really goes to Bob Apodaca and Jimmy Wright making some adjustments in his delivery. The confidence that he has gained in his stuff also helps that.
And that's a base hit to right center field. Fowler will cut it off, but Cunningham will reach third. And a problem out of the gate.
Now, one of the themes walking down with Bud Black was we want to be very aggressive early in counts against Jason Hamill and try to get something going early in this game to give comfort to John Garland, who has struggled of late.
Here's Tejada. Last night, he hit one up on the concourse against Jeff Francis. Career home run number 298. His best ball game as a Padre had been a 2 RBI night. Came from Baltimore in midsummer, right before the trade deadline. And he's got a base hit. And it is 1-0. So Hamill firing that fastball, and San Diego's decided to be real aggressive early.
3 straight hits and a result of a run. Tejada picks up RBI number 23 in a Padre uniform. He had 39 in the American League. Hyundai Cam fastball out over the plate again and up. That's what he hit last night with a lot of damage against the Rockies.
And this is feeling a little bit similar to his last start against Cincinnati, that day game that the Rockies won 6-5 on the steal of home by Chris Nelson, when he fell behind 5-0 in the first couple of innings. Now he ended up going 7 and he settled in quite nicely, but he had a rough beginning. Now you got to deal with Adrian Gonzalez.
Got hits .410 with runners in scoring position, and again, maybe they're taking too comfortable of swings. In other words, you've got to have to pitch in, try to disallow them from extending their arms out on that fastball away from them.
This should be 2. No. Young knocks it down. It's not going to get anybody. I thought off the bat initially that it was a little closer to Eric Young. He was able to get there on the backhand, but he couldn't have it stick in his glove. It's an error on Young.
Well, I think defensively, even though you're double play depth, he was pulled over because of the hitter at the plate in Gonzalez. But he takes this ball back up the middle. Gonzalez typically pulls the baseball more than he did in this time, and then you're going to get the one out, possibly two if fielded cleanly. For EY, his 5th error of the year.
Slider to Ryan Ludwig misses. Boy, if they could have turned that over, that would have been huge. Runner at third with 2 outs. Instead, it's bases loaded, nobody out, and a run's already home for the offensively challenged Padres ordinarily. That's a strike. Padres yesterday scored 6 runs, which was the first time in a long time, and I'm talking about 3+ weeks, that they had produced 6 runs in a game. They've gone 16 straight games not scoring more than 4. And this is hit very well to right field. It is over the head of Smith. Everybody held up for a moment. It's going to go, believe it or not, as a 375-foot single. 2-0. And Bob Apodaca's got to come out. I haven't seen Jason Hamill hit like this. Even in the last outing, George, there were some dinks and dunks, but these balls have been squared up.
Yeah, they have, and they've been hit a long ways, particularly this ball by Ludwig, but they did have to lock up on the fly to the baseball, and that's what prevented any more damage being done. But you still have 4 hits, you have an error, you have 2 runs scored so far, and you don't have an out in the ball game. And again, this is a situation where you want to establish your fastball early in a game, but you have to recognize after 5 hitters that maybe I should go change up, curveball, slider, whatever you would like, to try to offset what they're doing.
Chase Headley now 0 for 4 last night. Tejada at third, Gonzalez at second, Ludwig at first. Snap throw to third as Olivo tries to steal an out.
I wonder too if with Tejada at third base, of course teammates Mora and Tejada, that if there's something recognized there between these 2 guys, talking about Olivo and Mora, that when he takes his lead down, does he have a slow walk back on a pitch that's not hit? Maybe that's why they took that shot with the left-handed bat up.
Swung on a miss. Of course, Mora knows Tejada very well. Played with him for 4 years in Baltimore.
And Olivo being in the American League catching for Kansas City.
Mora and Tejada talking right now. They're good friends. Good pitch.
You talk about everybody that keeps stats. They sure do that. Opponents are hitting first pitch swinging against Hamill this year, 378. So far, they're 2 for 2 in this ball game.
That was held by Olivo. Headley's gone. 1 out. With Nick Hundley coming up. That was a large strikeout.
Yeah, huge strikeout. They found something that he wasn't handling, and that's the breaking ball down and in. They revisited after a swing and a miss. This one caught the bottom of the zone.
Hot hitter and Nick Hundley at the plate. He's hit 9 of his last 11 games, a 382 average. Maybe Hundley and Adrian Gonzalez, the only 2 that have really swung the bats well during this difficult stretch for San Diego.
You mentioned those numbers for Hundley. They're pretty big. Huge numbers against Jason Hamill, too. It's not over 2 or 3 at bats. It's over 12 at bats where he's hit 500 and he's left the yard against him. Notice the difference. Our fastball is awfully early in this game, trying to establish that. The last 2 swing and miss. This on a slider. The other was on a curveball. The slider just a little more velocity, less break, but in a great location on the Hyundai Kingston.
Bases loaded, 1 out, 2 runs in for the Padres right out of the chute tonight. Here's what George was alluding to, the good numbers for Hundley against Hamill. 0-2 fastball. He shows him up high at 94. Here's the 1-2. On the ground to third. Chance for two. There's one. There's two. All things considered, the way that thing was unfolding, giving up two, certainly not the end of the world. Season, Eric Young hitting .275, but of late he's got an 8-game hitting streak to the tune of a .419 average. And he's also thrown 4 walks in there. That's Outside the Box, brought to you by Jack in the Box, and EY will be leading things off here in the bottom of the first as the Rockies again will have to play catch-up, and that has not been unusual during this winning streak. 5 times over the last 11 ball games they've fallen behind early. Dexter Fowler will follow, then Cargo, Tulowitzki, Melvin Mora, who's hitting over 300 since Stewart went on the disabled list, Seth Smith, Miguel Olivo, and Jason Hamill. All to face the 30-year-old veteran John Garland, who's won 130 ball games in his big league career.
Well, one thing he's going to do, he's going to pound the strike zone with sinkers. It's going to range 86 to 90, 91 miles an hour. When he was younger, he was a guy that could throw the ball a little harder. 7-5 at home, 6-6 out on the road this year. You just mentioned what the Rockies have trailed and won 25 of those games. The Padres, when they score first, are 62-23. So obviously the defense starts to play a role in a lot of their success.
Young fouls it off down the third base line and out of play. 1-2. Rockies have gotten after Garland this year. That ERA above 5.
More than once. An earned run average of 6.19 against the Rockies. 1.7 runs supported is all he's gotten, so that's already above that. But he's 0-3 against the Rockies this year. Started against Colorado back on April the 11th. 6 innings, 4 runs. And he started again against Colorado. Then lost the ball game in 4 2/3 and gave up 3 runs. That was the start in San Diego, where he struck out 7 in that game.
And now they've gone full 3-2. EY's 0 for 3 lifetime against Garland. And a ground ball to short.
Well, the last start in San Diego on a Sunday afternoon, it wasn't very pretty. Yeah, beat up often with a lot of strikeouts and walks for the Rockies, but they took advantage of the ball over the wall, on the wall, and the line drives of that guy, Carlos Gonzalez.
Dexter Fowler will step in with 1 out. Again, the Rockies were down 5-0 last night, and they got 4 runs in the 5th inning to make a game of it. More than a game of it, they were right there. Unfortunately, couldn't get after that San Diego bullpen.
Well, part of that too, the home run given up in the top of the 9th was tough, because now you get a man on base, you can bunt him over, there wasn't 2 outs, get a guy into scoring position, take your shot with your lineup. But unfortunately, that home run in the top of the 9th made it a 2-run ball game, so it expanded the comfort zone. And with what Heath Bell has done, he has not blown a save since mid-May.
Ball and 2 strikes on Fowler as he discusses that last pitch with Jeff Nelson. Garland's given up 9 runs in his last 9 2/3 innings. And again, another full count.
And because of the hard sinker, a lot of times down in the zone, he doesn't give up a lot of long balls. Only 1 and here at Coors Field that he's given up.
Cargo's on deck. 2 runs, 4 hits in that first inning for the Padres. And he gets the strikeout on Fowler. 2 outs. The Padres defensively will have Cunningham in left, Will Venable in center, and Ryan Ludwig in right. Chase Headley, Miguel Tejada, David Eckstein at second, Adrian Gonzalez at first, and Nick Hundley is doing the catching. Well, the matchups between Garland and Cargo have been no contest. They have favored Gonzalez. He's 9 for 15 with 6 doubles in his career against John Garland. So Garland throws him a breaking ball for a strike.
Well, because of Gonzalez's success swinging at the first pitch fastball strike, I think the veteran pitcher's probably thinking, I'm going to go slow, slow, and slower, or I'm going to stay out of his happy zone. Which there's a lot of those in that Amica hit zone. We'll show you later in the ball game. But he's one of those guys you just got to be careful first pitch fastball, because he will fire and he'll hurt you.
2 outs, nobody on. Here's the 1-1 to Cargo. Outside, 2-1. Hey, you mentioned the Amica hit zone. Amica, it's not how you're covered, it's how you're treated. A lot of red spots.
Yeah, a lot of red spots. The only one you see really that's down really far is that pitch down and away. It's that hard sinker. It'll work again, possibly to the advantage of John Garland.
Well, a good start for John Garland. A punch out and a couple of ground outs. 2-0 San Diego as we go to the second. for the Rockies. Let's send it down to Alana Rizzo for tonight's great Colorado Payback sideline report. Alana?
Thanks, guys. Jason Hamill, a very frustrating first inning. He certainly showed his displeasure after he came out of the ballgame after the top half of the first. But really, over the 2010 season, he's really pitched very admirably. He has already 10 career wins this season. One tonight would be a career high for Jason Hamill, the second year of double-digit wins. And I asked him earlier today, do you think about that going into a season? He said at FanFest at the beginning of the year, he said, I set a goal for myself. He gets the ground out here of 13 to 15 wins on the 2010 season. He said, I still have a shot to accomplish that. He said, but if I don't reach the key number, I know that I've done everything I can to put myself in a position to have another good year, and he certainly has in 2010, guys.
Here's what I like about Jason Hamill. He would be the first to tell you he had a miserable start to the season. He didn't pitch with the same confidence that he did most of last year. He went on the disabled list after a few weeks. He had an ERA above 9 when he went on the disabled list. Since coming off in May, he's had 22 starts. He's 10-5 with a 3.71 ERA. That's over the bulk of the season. That's pretty heady stuff.
Yeah, that's special. The other side, the other thing I always look at is not so much your numbers, but what does the team do when you're on the mound? And they're 16-10 when Jason Hamill's on the mound. So it tells you, you think about the number of wins the Rockies have right now, as they said it's 79 wins. 16 of those, he's done exactly what you ask him to do.
And Hamill gets out of his delivery a little bit. You saw him fall off hard to the first base side, and he has thrown 3 straight out of the zone to John Garland, who's standing up there like a statue.
And he will continue.
And that's ball 4. Oh, you can't do that.
Well, you're not supposed to.
Hamill not happy with himself. That'll bring up Aaron Cunningham, who started the game with a bullet of a single to center field. Tonight's Text the Booth night. We'll answer your questions live right here on television. It's television we're in, George.
It is?
Yeah, brought to you by Office Liquidators and OfficeLiquidators.com. Colorado's largest selection and lowest prices of office furniture.
Dougie, when they start that? They show pictures with our words? Huh. It's a new thing, isn't it?
Brand new.
They got them like 50 inches now.
Cunningham got a breaking ball after ripping the fastball. San Diego's game plan was clear. They were going to swing at first pitch fastballs if it showed up in the zone. They did in the first inning. 4 hits in that inning. The Rockies committed an error. So, and there was one ball that short hopped the right field wall that went for a 375-foot single. So you consider all those things and the fact that it's only 2-0.
Pretty lucky.
Pretty lucky is right. 1 and 2 on Cunningham. He's hit the Rockies hard this year. 12 for 28. Hard ground ball, base hit. That was a hanging breaking ball, and Cunningham is 2 for 2. And that walk is now looking even more problematic because you're getting into the middle of that Padre lineup again. And instead of taking care of the pitcher's standing at second base with 1 out. David Eckstein at the plate. Is a wild pitch still technically considered a wild pitch if there is nobody on base? No. You throw it up in the crowd, it's just a ball. You have to account for somebody moving. So in other words, let's say Jason Hamill uncorks one and it hits off the bricks behind Miguel Olivo and the home plate umpire Jeff Nelson. Ricochets back and nobody advances. Ground ball to third, step on the bag, and go to first. Double play. If that were to occur and nobody advanced, there would be no wild pitch. So Hamill does not get burned by that walk to John Garland. We'll go to the bottom of the second. Rockies trailing 2-0. Tulowitzki will lead off. Look at our Breaks Plus Take a Break poll of the game. Should seats near the outfield wall be removed to prevent fan interference? Text Rocks 1 for yes, Rocks 2 for no. Buy 2 get 2 in the month of September and October. That's Monroe Shocks and Struts from our friends at Breaks Plus. You know what? Don't remove the seats. That's fine. On the occasion that there's fan interference, they go inside. They look very quickly. It's the shortest of any of the replays that you see in sports. Keep the fans close to the action. There's a strike. John Garland in his last start against the Giants allowed a season-high 6 runs. And Tulowitzki bounces to short. That'll bring up Pelt. When the Rockies score 7 in a game or more, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special from Taco Bell.
Well, Helton's had his number, 5 for 8 over their career matchups. First pitch fastball up in the zone at 92.
Now, there are a lot of guys that have swung the bat well in the lineup tonight against Garland. Fowler, before his first at bat, was 3 for 7. Gonzalez, we showed you, was 9 for 15. Helton, 5 for 8. Melvin Moore has seen him more than anybody else. He's on deck. He's 11 for 33. Olivo, 3 for 8 with a home run. A lot of guys have been successful against John Garland. Hopefully that success will continue this evening. Three and 1. Todd swung at a pitch he doesn't ordinarily swing at. 3-1. It's a pitcher's pitch.
I will remind everybody, tomorrow is the last day you can do this. If you'll put down a deposit for your 2011 season tickets by tomorrow, it will guarantee you the opportunity to buy 2010 postseason tickets should the Rockies get there. So make sure you make that phone call to the Rockies or ColoradoRockies.com for more information. But it has to be done by tomorrow.
Melvin Moore hitting 300 in the second half. Done a marvelous job in the absence of Ian Stewart. Stewart took a few more swings today. More baseball activity. He's going to get a day off here to also to cool down that intercostal muscle in the rib cage area. Doesn't really feel it anymore. But he was in that position a few days back when he re-injured it. Oh, and eventually, quickly, George, eventually when he does get healthy enough to see game action, he's going to have to go down to instructional league.
Well, if he wants, so chooses, if that's where they want him to go down there. It doesn't start till the 20th is when instructional league starts, and games do not start. You have inter-squad games faced against the Rockies minor league pitching. But the games do not actually start there till October the 1st. But like they do a lot of times in the spring, they'll set up a ball game with pitchers that are obviously in great shape coming right out of a season. And they'll go in and get their 4, 5, 10 hacks in a row off of them.
It's just hard to take a month off and go run out there and pitch big league pitching. Here's Stewart. He felt today after working out that defensively he could play in a big league game right now and be fine. 2-2 on Mora. And he got him with a changeup. So Garland's been very good through the first 2 innings. The Padres have a 2-0 lead as we go to the 3rd. Brought to you by E470. Open your Express Toll account today and start saving money on E470. Tomorrow afternoon, the Rockies conclude this 10-game homestand against the Padres. Thursday's an off day, and then it's to L.A. They'll have another off day on Monday. And then they'll continue on in Phoenix against the Diamondbacks. Miguel Tejada, an RBI single in the first. He has 5 RBIs in the first 2 ball games of this series. Slider outside, 1-1. Tejada was 0 for 14 prior to last night. Padres didn't swing the bat at all at Petco during their homestand. Did enough to sweep the Dodgers, but scored just 5 runs in 4 games against the Giants, 2-1. Talking to Mora today about his old friend Tejada, and he said, you know what? He's a really superstitious guy. So one of the funniest things that I remember about playing with Tejada is that for a group stretch, which is every day in the big leagues before teams, here's a strike, go out on the field and hit. Some teams will do it outside right before batting practice. If stretch was at 4:30, Mora would be out there, Tejada would be out there, but he'd always wait 1 minute and start 1 minute later than everybody else. It was just his thing. And he said it was amazing. He would stand in the middle of the group and he would separate himself for 1 minute and then come back. And I said, well, you're playing with a guy that's kind of goofy that way right now, your first baseman. And he started laughing. He says, oh, yeah. He goes, he's in a different league. Here's the 2-2 and a ground ball to Iwa. 1 out. Adrian Gonzalez will come up. He reached on an error by Young his first time. Time for our Geico quote of the day. Ted Williams giving some batting tips. Never swing at a ball you're fooled on or have trouble hitting. That would be good advice.
Because you see him say that to a bunch of 8 or 10 years old, and they all look at him and go, huh?
Yes.
What'd you say?
Williams wrote a book a long time ago on hitting that's still in circulation. And I've heard of big league players, current big league players, that not only have read it, but have taken many of the thoughts that he passed along and adopted them on hitting.
3 books
of course,
out.
he hit 60, 70, 70 plus years ago.
3 books that are out that a lot of players will go to. One is Tony Gwynn, Ted Williams, and the other George Brett. Those are the 3 they go talk to, and those are 3 pretty good guys to talk about hitting.
3-0 and ball 4. And Hamill, George, you see something mechanically that's
not really. I mean, you know, maybe working under a little bit of the baseball when it's that high, and it's kind of what you end up having, and that can work to your advantage or disadvantage. So far, 39 pitches, not a big deal there. 24 strikes on it. So take another look at a text tonight. How does Hamill's height affect the batter's eye level, Jason's delivery, etc.? Well, it's to his advantage because he's 6'7". So it's, you know, a lot of times like you face Randy Johnson, Chris Young from San Diego, that's 6'11". At 6'7", they appear much closer to you as a hitter. And you take advantage and work on that, and base hit up the middle, that you work it downhill into the strike zone and take advantage of the leverage that's been given to you.
This is the absolute worst scenario that's unfolding right now for the Rockies, unless Hamill could turn this thing around, because he's given up 6 hits already. He has walked 2. They're seeing the baseball very well, and the bullpen has had to pick up 11 innings in the last 2 days. Francis could give him only 3. He was on a strict pitch count. And the day before, you may recall, Yoli Chacin, who's been marvelous this year, gave them only 4 innings.
That may be one of those you bite the bullet for a couple of innings, and Hamill's just going to have to fight his way through it and figure out how to keep this game close for 5 innings.
Well, I mean, that's what you hope. I mean, in a perfect world, he was going to give you 7.
Well, but I'm saying at this point in the ball game, he had a chance for 2 if Hamill gets over. He does.
He got there. Great throw by Tulowitzki. Acrobatic with the feet to avoid the breakup of 2 by Ryan Ludwig. That was well done. The toughest double play to turn. 3-6-1. Tulowitzki hits the moving target. Bases loaded, nobody out after 2 had already crossed, and he didn't give up a run. Last inning, 1st and 2nd, 1 out, and he gets a double play with a little help from first base umpire Mark Carlson. Seth Smith with an 0-1 count. 0-2 count now.
We'll get some help around baseball right now. Arizona over Cincinnati 3-0 in the 8th. Washington over Atlanta 5-0. That ball game's in the 8th inning. Phillies winning in the 6th 2-1 over Florida.
Two on Smith, hitting in front of Olivo. Outside. Here's what we were talking about on that double play, that 3-6-1. Watch Hamill, and he's searching for the bag, and the foot comes down from.
Stepped right on his ankles. What he did is luckily he didn't get that broken. Stepped right on top of it. So Jason's leg obviously laying across the bag. He was out.
Oh, maybe that's why he was out. Okay, but I apologize to Mark Carlson. You got it right, because we saw the replay going to break, and it looked like the foot came down before Hamill. So there was a great call by Mark Carlson.
Well, actually, you're right.
Chase Headley.
You're right with your statement. His foot did come down before Hamill's, because Hamill's calf was laying across the bag.
Yeah. Good job, Mark.
You're so lucky you didn't get the tibia or an ankle just crushed. 220-pound guy running, and a lot of runners will do their best to avoid that situation, but a lot of times they're trying to get on the bag also.
Here's something interesting about the Rockies this year, and it's almost been a tradition even in the years they've ended up in the postseason. They always play from behind, and that's why folks get so excited here in September with the great runs of the Rockies in 07 and 09 and here again in 2010. The Rockies have been in first place this year a grand total of 1 day. That was opening day. Smith strikes out. 3rd strikeout for Garland. That'll bring up Olivo. They have been in second place this year for 19 days. They have either been in third or fourth 135 days this year.
Yeah, but the division has been tight, and I think the reason this club really excels late in the season is because of that guy right there. You know, he makes a firm believer out of the players in there. He's doing every possible thing, getting the right matchups out of a bullpen, out of his bench to win that ball game.
Padres, by contrast, have been in first place for 89 days. Olivo fouls this pitch off.
Now, Garland hasn't gone beyond 100 pitches since the 1st of August. He's pretty efficient with this count tonight, just 38 so far in the ball game.
After Garland said publicly he didn't think he should come out of a ball game a couple of games back, and then he had the bad outing against San Francisco. I would imagine inside he feels a little added pressure than what you'd ordinarily feel, particularly this time of year.
Well, you better back it up whenever you do that, and you say the things you got to say, and he's done that. Not one fly ball out in the game so far. Everything's been in the infield and a couple of punch outs through 8 batters.
Jason Hamill at the plate. The team that's been in first place in any division the longest this year, and I don't know how many people would have predicted this maybe at the start of the season, the Texas Rangers. 99 days in first place. Here's a big chopper to Tejada. Well, Garland's perfect through 3 innings. See what transpires second time through. 2-0 Padres off to the 4th. Upstairs, and Alana Rizzo's downstairs with our Fast Cash Sideline Report, brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you'll always get 40% more for your gold. Alana.
Guys, I am way up high here in right field, a mile high up in the purple row with these kids that are having a blast watching the Rockies. I ran into your Torrealba yesterday, the Padres catcher, former Rocky, and I said, hey, what's going on with your squad? He said, you know what, we just need to loosen up. He said, we have a lot of young kids on this team that are playing very tight right now. And I said, as a veteran on this club, what have you told them? He said, we need to remember to have a good time. We've done it all season long, really been in first place almost wire to wire in 2010, and we need to get back to doing that. There's a lot of young kids that have not had this experience before, a lot of kids that haven't even played in September before, and Torrealba and some of the other veterans have taken it upon themselves to tell them, you know what, loosen up, guys. It's just a game. It's the same game you played when we were kids, guys.
And Torrealba is a guy that'll keep it loose. They do have, you know, I think every team is going to have a mix of young guys and veteran guys. I mean, Tejada obviously has been around. Adrian Gonzalez now has been around. Ryan Ludwig has seen the postseason with St. Louis. Another base hit, Nick Hundley. But if you want a guy to keep things loose and to bring passion and energy to the ballpark every day, there's your man. Here's Will Venable. He hit a ground ball to second his first time. 7 hits, for the Padres, none for the Rockies. Hundley's a good athlete at first. He's not a blazer, but he's not a parked car either. He's a good athlete. Good high school football player. Dad, a football coach for Rick Neuheisel at UCLA on the defensive side of the ball. Snap throw to first. They got him. Out at first. Olivo cuts down Hundley. Now, George, right now the Rockies are doing their best to pick up Jason Hamill. Double play last inning, and here's Olivo.
Absolutely, not any hesitation at all. That snap throw came in too wide of a lead, obviously. Disappointed in a 2-0 game. That's just a base running blunder. Helton, even though he lost his balance, really prevented him from getting anywhere close to the bag. That's one of those moves in baseball. You just don't want to make that walk to the dugout after a leadoff single.
1-2 on Venable, and they tried to drop that slider down and in. Almost dropped it on, literally on his back foot.
Yep, hard slider just went between the feet.
Venable's dad, the hitting coach the last few years in Portland, the AAA affiliate of the Padres, now in AA with the Padres. Got it. 2 outs. That'll bring up John Garland.
Inning starting to unfold just like you want it to. With strike 3 on a fastball away and out of the strike zone. He chased one for you, and that's what Venable has struggled this season in September, and hitting just .214 prior to tonight. He's 0 for 2 in this game. Now just complete the 3rd out. John Garland.
Now Garland aggressive. Now Tulowitzki's going to try to fold out, and he's not going to get him. Garland, a walk and now an infield hit. And this little theme, George, lately continues of the opposition pitcher reaching, and we're not talking about like Micah Owings and Mike Hampton quality hitters.
Now, Ian Kennedy, who has 0.63, wasn't he the other day, or 0.90 maybe, wasn't much, and he got 3 hits in the ball game. Last night, Lupke gets a hit in the ball game, and then here tonight, Garland walks and gets a single.
Aaron Cunningham is 2 for 2. Last night, Cunningham had a couple of infield hits. Pitch misses. He would walk later on in the ball game, and he hit a ball about 420 feet to left center field that Carlos Gonzalez tracked down. One of 2 that Cargo tracked down way out there in left center. He was right on that pitch, 1-1. This is one, George, that Jason Hamels has got to gut his way through. With the injury to Cook and the limitations of Francis, do you see the Rocks going to a 4-man rotation with the impact that every game carries? It's a great question. One thing that's going to help out the Rockies is the fact that you have a couple off days coming up where you can shorten your rotation a little bit.
Well, yeah, you got Thursday off, you got Monday off. That's what you can do with it. You're still getting the guys a normal day's rest. So you could pull that off if you wanted to. I talked to Jeff afterwards last night. He felt strong. He felt he could have gone deeper into the ball game, but they're siding on precaution. Obviously, they're not going to let the guy go out and get hurt in the 5th inning or 4th inning, but he still felt strong after 64 pitches in the game last night.
Line drive, deep right field, and this is off the wall. Smith has it. Garland's going to get a stop sign on the double by Cunningham. And that is the 9th hit here in the 4th inning against Jason Hamill. And you have 2 on in scoring position for Eckstein. And once again, the failure to retire John Garland could prove costly.
Yeah, that fastball up, and you can see out over the plate. When he did, he let the young man try to extend his arms. Cunningham only 1 home run, but he does have strength. Luckily, Smitty was able to take that ball off of that wall, or if that gets by him, Garland would have scored.
Well played out there by Seth Smith. Fowler shortens way up in center field for David Eckstein, who does have occasional power on the pull side. Like that. That's going to score 2, and it's going to be 4-0 San Diego, and then it rolls all the way deep into the corner. Gonzalez will fire it back in, a double for Eckstein, and you keep flirting with danger, you're going to get burnt. You play with fire as the old line goes. And it comes down to that 2-out single. Just a seeing eye hit by John Garland that they kept the inning alive.
Now, fastball inner half. He's very quick to that inner half. And when the ball got all the way down to the corner, it never had any bounce to it. So what happens is it gets right against underneath that padding where all the cement is in the ballpark, and then it just takes off running. That's where Gonzalez has to chase the ball down and get it back in by the time Eckstein gets to second with his 27th RBI of the season. You know, I was hoping, too, because Garland was at first. He had to run really hard to first. Fly ball deep, had to run hard to third, that you could get Eckstein out and then test Garland coming back out, you know, to see what kind of shape he's in. Del Carmen will get loose for the Rockies now.
4-0 San Diego, and there's no other way to spin this. I can't remember Jason Hamill getting hit this hard in a ball game this year. I mean, there have been 10 hits, and all of them have been barreled.
He's never given up.
With
Think about what I'm telling you,
the Garland
folks.
hit.
Let me tell you, and listen to what I'm telling you. This year, he's never given up 9 hits for 1 time in a start against Atlanta in 6 1/3. You know, he's given up 10 in this ball game.
Yeah, there's nothing really to do with the pitch count. I mean, he's throwing strikes, but they're drilling the fastball.
Well, they got 2
they're
runs,
clubbing the fastball.
2 runs, 4 hits, and an error in the first inning, all on 16 pitches. Typically for me, when he's right, Hamill's able to paint this area right out here. What I'm seeing today is a lot of fastballs in those 2 areas there.
Yeah, and in the middle of those 2 areas, George,
yep.
He gets the strikeout there on Tejada, but the damage with 2 outs is done. Cunningham doubles after Garland had the seeing eye hit, and then Eckstein doubles those 2 home. FSN is brought to you by AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T Rethink Possible. By Dex One Marketing Solutions Business Results. By the fastest growing car dealer in America, Hyundai. And by Big Brothers Big Sisters. Be big and donate your car. You get a free tow and tax break, and you'll help change a kid's life. Well, the Rockies are down 4-0 as they come to bat here in the 4th inning. They haven't seen first base. 9 set down to begin the ball game by John Garland, and he has struck out 3. Eric Young grounded to short. Rockies haven't hit a ball to the outfield.
Ball, one strike. Out of Garland, there's not a whole lot of breaking balls for strikes. I know he struck out Olivo with one, but I've seen a lot of good consistency with his fastball. Excuse me, Olivo hit a ground ball to short, but good consistency with his fastball down in the strike zone.
And that goes past Gonzalez. Maybe that's the break the Rockies need. A hard ground ball right at the normally sure-handed Adrian Gonzalez. Went through him.
Yeah, 5 errors on the year for Gonzalez, but I don't know about this ball. I'm not sure anybody would have caught this thing. It was hit extremely hard. 2 hops right at him, and he immediately looked down at the Coors Field surface on the dirt. Kind of went to the side of that baseball and was going to pick it. Unfortunately, hopped right over the glove into the outfield. See if EY could do something here.
Dexter Fowler struck out on a 3-2 pitch his first time.
Yeah, aggressiveness has been the one trait of this ball club. Don't shut her down now. Just apply the pressure when you get the little bit of a window of opportunity.
An error on Adrian Gonzalez. Rockies still without a hit. Catching up to do. And there's a clean hit for Fowler. The second time through, 2 have reached. Venables throw to third offline. Dexter's going to move up. There's the speed on display. Will Venable knocked the ball down. It was hit so hard in center field. And as soon as he didn't pick it up plainly, Eric Young took the opportunity to go to third, and when the throw went in that direction, Dexter Fowler did not hesitate.
Bad baseball on the part of the San Diego Padres. You always want to try to keep your double play, particularly with a sinker ball pitcher on the mound. Venable chose to go ahead and throw the ball to third base, and when he did throw it to third, overshot everything. That allowed Dexter to go up. That was not good fundamental baseball, and the Rockies took advantage of it.
Couple of errors, and the Rockies have 2 in scoring position, nobody out, and they're in the thick part of the lineup. The leading hitter in the league, Carlos Gonzalez, followed by the second leading hitter in the league, Troy Tulowitzki. In there for a strike at 92. Garland has kept the ball down in this game so far. In fact, Miguel Tejada already has 4 chances, 4 assists in this game. 1 for Eckstein, 1 for Chase Headley.
If you're John Garland with a 4-0 lead right now, you're just looking for an out. That's why the infield's back. What you're trying to prevent is a ball into the gap or over the fence to get a game tightened up very quickly. Nearly impossible with Gonzalez and Tulowitzki up to prevent any runs from scoring.
This is definitely Gonzalez. It kicks into right field. It'll score 2. Cargo going to second. Here's the throw, not in time. 4-2. That was a rocket. Adrian Gonzalez is going to have to put hockey equipment on.
And looking at the outside of that hand just to see what happened to it, because that's 2 balls smoked in this inning. But Gonzalez is wondering why you pick it on me. A base hit for Cargo, a double. Ball out over the front side. If you notice, look at his feet move right here to get to that bat to the barrel. That was beautiful job of hitting. On the Hyundai cam, you really saw this. 1 hop and then boom. Into the outfield. He's going to try to backhand it and get the out. Instead, Gonzalez gets a double.
RBIs 102 and 103 for Cargo. And here's Tulowitzki, still nobody out. Crowd alive and well. It's 4-2 now.
That's one thing about this Rocky club of late. Just give them a little window of opportunity and their confidence soars.
All year, they're going to play 27 outs. Last night, Troy Tulowitzki against Corey Lukey with the Rockies down 5-1.
Ball up and a ball away from him.
Cargo and Troy drove in all 4 runs for the Rockies last night. Gonzalez has the first 2 tonight. Tulowitzki's looking to pick up his buddy at second. Conley's flashed like 30 signs.
And they finally got to where they want to go, inside or outside, as a bench coach and a lot of times as a hitting coach. Watch the elbow of a catcher. You know, they're going to go ahead with the sign because it's preset it. We'll show you something else here in a minute. Another slider at 81. What you look for a lot of times to help out hitters on location is not only where a catcher sets up, but if they constantly flap their elbow out, and this is something you try to teach not to do, but they end up doing it, is watch this elbow area right here on a catcher. If you start to see when he starts giving signs inside, if you see that elbow come away, it means his last tap, he wants the ball away as he tries to get out there.
Slowly hit. Gonzalez is going to move over. Tulowitzki beats it. It's an infield single. Tejada couldn't throw him out. First and third, still nobody out with Helton coming up.
Difficult play because you're playing so deep as a shortstop and as a third baseman. 4 hops before Tejada got there, and Tulowitzki runs way too well.
And you know what else, George? If you watch Troy getting out of the box, that groin injury that was bothering him and made him sit down for a couple of days, a little more than a week ago, that's okay again. There's no way he could have run like that with the injury he had a little more than a week ago. First and third, nobody out. Helton at the plate. Ground ball to third his first time. Boy, he had a little tilt on that swing. He was thinking about the seats above the auxiliary scoreboard in right field.
Hey, look at the swing on Helton here. Watch the back elbow drop, so it almost looks as if he's trying to go to the opposite field. And I think why he missed that just a tad was because it was a slider that was boring in on the hands. If it would have been a fastball out over the plate, he'd have smoked it.
Center field, plenty deep enough to get Gonzalez home with the Rockies' third run. Sac fly for Helton. It's 4-3. 31st RBI for Helton. The Rockies right back in it.
Not only that, it's also a spot for Helton to feel a part of driving in that run and getting in to be a part of it. He'd love to have driven it in for a base hit, but he does get Gonzalez in.
First out of the inning, and now Melvin Mora. Melvin hit a couple of bullets last night in the loss. He was 2 for 4. Both hits, line drives to center field. I asked Melvin earlier tonight. I said, how often are you in the weight room? Because folks, I mean, you can, see in the picture right there. I mean, he's 38 years old, but he is as strong as they come and as physically fit as they come. His legs look like an NFL running back's legs. And he said, when I'm playing every day, I'm in the weight room every day. Gets his workout in before the Rockies go out on the field to stretch and take batting practice.
honestly, and you understand why he's doing it too. Tulowitzki with 10 stolen bases. He's been caught twice all year. Try to get that other runner into scoring position. And Mora has swung the bat well of late. You got a left-handed bat, and Smith in the on-deck circle. There's just one out. If this game back to a one-run game, you can do some things.
0-1 on Melvin.
Defensively, the way this thing's set up too, because Eckstein really hadn't been playing over. I mean, they're really allowing this right side to be opened up with the runner being held at first base. They're thinking Mora is going to go this way with the baseball. That's why they're shading that way. Really shortened up for the double play ball.
Just short. Tejada had to backpedal for one and on to first, double play. So the Padres will get to the dugout, but the Rockies, after not seeing first base in the first 3 innings, score 3. One-run game. Within a run on the Padres. Of the 3 runs in the inning, 2 were unearned. Rockies could care less about that. This date in history is brought to you by Dex One Marketing Solutions Business Results. We go back to the 14th of September, 1997. The Rockies beat the Braves 4-0 in Atlanta. Pedro Estacio throws 8 innings and allows just 4 hits, couple of walks. He struck out a dozen. And it was a 1-0 game till the 9th inning, and John Vanderwall hit a pinch hit 3-run bomb. He could pinch hit with the best of them in his day, John Vanderwall. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Xfinity Voice, unlimited local and long distance calling. Call 1-800-XFINITY. Jason Hamill was hit very hard in 4 innings. He gives up 4 runs on 10 hits, and so the Rockies, Jim Tracy will go to Manny Del Carmen here in the 5th. It'll be his 4th appearance with Colorado after coming from Boston.
Well, he's been beat up a couple of times in ball games, so you kind of have to disregard his earned run average. You have to look at other numbers to be successful. And he's a guy that has, I think, had a difficult time coming over here and feeling comfortable in the National League compared to what he was doing in the American League. Changeup at 82 starts it off.
Del Carmen, for a while, one of the better setup men in the American League, but it had been a rough year for him in Boston, and kind of fallen way back in their rotation of relievers, if you will. And the Rockies made a move to get him, because a lot of times relievers, George, as you know, they'll have one good, one bad, one good year, and the next year not as good, but he's still got a big time arm.
Well, I think that's why you see a lot of guys. I was one of them. I got traded every couple of years and respond with good year. You get traded again and go on to another ball club. He still has a very good arm, still very young. I think maybe the pressures of being from the Boston area, not having success, he had a tough time regaining the confidence that he had. 4 runs given up in his first outing, 2 scoreless since then.
2-1 on Adrian Gonzalez. Reached on an error and walked. And that's low, 3-1. This is obviously not what Jim Tracy would have drawn up for tonight. And now the Rockies, with the 3-1 count, are going to go ahead and put the shift on. It was not on originally. Rockies were looking for great length from Jason Hamill tonight. Instead, they get just 4 innings. And they're in the bullpen early for the 3rd straight ball game.
One advantage in why he went to Del Carmen. Here you go. This is a number of what the bullpen has done the last couple of days. 36-18. A lot of pitches thrown, in other words, folks, in ball games, covering 6 innings, 6 hits, and 4 earned runs.
3-2, and this is in the air to center field. Playable for Dexter Fowler. 1 out. I want to go back to that graphic for a moment and let everybody understand something. Esmil Rogers has thrown back-to-back days, multiple innings. You're not going to see Esmil Rogers tonight. The Rockies do not want to use Matt Belisle tonight because he has pitched several days in a row. And Matt Reynolds, though he's been busy, as you saw a moment ago, he's up already in this game. So some other guys, George, guys like Manny Del Carmen, are going to have to step up in games they typically have not been involved in, close games.
Escalano's going to have to be one of those guys. Escalano's going to have to do it. Gadeno's going to have to do it. There's guys down in the bullpen. Franklin Morales is going to have to come on and pitch in the ball game. I mean, it's just going to happen unless you can get back to a lead, to where Betancourt didn't throw last night, nor did Street. So if you can get to the 8th inning and you're tight, you can go to those 2 guys.
0-2, and nobody knows this situation better than Manny Del Carmen. He realizes that his club needs him in the worst way right now, his new club. Offense got the Rockies back in touch with the Padres in the last half inning. It's 0-2 on Ludwig. And this breaking ball probably a little bit too good, George. 0-2.
Way too good. I mean, again, you're in the middle of this lineup. You're in a part of their power. You just got to be careful and not make mistakes with it. Ludwig today has swung the bat well, 300 feet off the wall for a single, and then this ball out over the plate.
Try to induce a swing on a pitch above the hands on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. It's 1-2. Another text. This from Ross in St. George, Utah. It's amazing what the Rockies can do in the last month of the season. Why can't they do that all year? Ross, it's a long year, and that is a fair ball. Mora, great play, accurate throw. Well done, Melvin Mora. We'll get back to your thought in a moment, Ross. Boy, that's a good-looking play by a veteran third baseman.
Yeah, well, look where he's lined up, too. This is what helps him to do this. Hugging over on that third base line, realizing breaking ball, so it allows him to make this play on the baseball. And he does just that. Able to utilize his strong arm, which he still has and always had, playing the third base bat. Stayed behind it to keep a true run on the baseball all the way to Todd Helton.
Chase Headley. Now, to finish the point on Ross, George, as you know, let's say you take a team that's going to win 90 games. They don't go out every month and play, 4 or 5 games above 500.
Good teams got to figure out a way to win in April. The Rockies have struggled in April for whatever reason. They've done it 07, 08, 09. You don't know what it is. You don't know if it's going to maybe cold weather games early in Milwaukee as they did this year. You're not getting some timely hits. They've had to deal with injuries a couple of times with starting pitching where you don't have your old 5. I mean, those are all excuses. But you just got to figure out the way to do it. I tell you what, if they played 500 ball in April and a little bit above in May, you're looking at a 5-6 game lead right now in the division.
Yeah, but there's no exact science as to how good teams arrive at in the mid-90s in terms of wins. And to your point, absolutely, the Rockies would love to get off to better starts.
Big help here.
But you're not going to trade into September's they've produced the last few years either. 4-3. Manny Del Carmen works a 1-2-3 fifth. 4 runs on 10 hits. They've kicked it twice. The Rockies did not have a base runner the first 3 innings, and then they scored 3 last inning. Carlos Gonzalez drove in 2 with a double, and then Todd Helton had a sac fly. 4-3, Smith leading off, and he swings and misses. Smith struck out against Garland his first time up. Smith 5 for 20 on this homestand. And he rolls one fair. Gonzalez to Garland, and fancy footwork by John Garland to get the out. 3-1 if you keep a book at home. Miguel Oliva will be next. Xcel Energy fun fact: last night the Padres ended their 16-game streak of scoring 4 runs or less. That tied the longest streak of any team this season. Seattle, they've really struggled offensively. And for the Padres, they hadn't had a streak like that since 1990. Did you know that dimmer switches can help your light bulbs last 20 times longer? Find money-saving information at responsiblebynature.com. Olivo hitting .362 against the Padres this year. He bounced short his first time. Miguel's going to play every day, and you know what? Miguel loves that. He feels like he swings the bat better when he is a little fatigued.
Well, probably doesn't overswing. Calmer, stays balanced at the plate. When you're well rested, you get that day off or 2 days off, you come out swinging a little bit hard, too aggressive, your shoulders fly. Not as controlled swing. I think for a hitter, a lot like relief pitchers that like to work 4 or 5 days out of the week, for a hitter, you would be able to define your strike zone a little bit more. Where are you having success? In or out, up or down?
And slowly hit to Tejada. He's going to have to hustle, and he just does get Miguel Oliva. Two outs. And that'll bring up Manny Del Carmen. A lot has been said about Chris Nelson's steal of home last week, but what makes it a straight steal versus the other 14 of home by the Colorado Rockies? Douglas in Denver wanted to know. Here's Del Carmen. The other one's involved another base runner trying to steal a base. First and third situation.
Well, they're trying to get the pitcher to draw a throw from the pitcher to first or to second. And by doing that, they throw. So I think that's why you saw Massett with the runner at first base. When he heard his dugout yelling, he's going, he stepped off to check the runner at first. The last guy he thought that would be going was Nelson at third base. As a pitcher, sometimes that's the natural reaction.
Congratulations to Manny Del Carmen. He now has done it all in baseball. That was his first big league at bat. Didn't last long, though. Let's check in again with Alana.
What he thought about Melvin Mora as a teammate. He said, you know what, he is one of the best teammates I have ever had. He said, I knew a lot about Melvin Mora before he came to the Rockies because as a huge baseball fan, I knew about all of the great years he had with the Baltimore Orioles. He said, I'm so happy he's on a team now that is a contender with the chance to go to the postseason. He said, if I had to go to battle on a daily basis, he would be the #1 guy I would want beside me, guys.
Well, you can understand that. His ability to play third, the clutch hits that he's gotten, go foul. See, that's kind of an old pitcher talking there, Drew. You kind of sit there, and all of a sudden you kind of throw a pitch, it ends up in the seats, and you go foul. Because you know you just hung a slider, you made a bad pitch, and you're going, just get outside the foul pole, will you please?
I think you're right, and I don't think you have to be an old pitcher either, because I think a lot of Rockies fans at home are going, go foul. Nick Hundley with a 1-1 count. Hundley with a base hit yesterday. In his last at bat, he had a 5-4-3 double play in his first at bat. Nick has hit 10 of his last 12. He had a home run against the Rockies, came off the bench to do it. In game 1 of that series, the Rockies swept at Petco. That's a strike. Good pitch. 1-2. Yep. 1 out as Hundley is retired. Second inning work for Del Carmen. Enter the Rocky Mountain Raffle for a chance to support boys and girls clubs and win a downtown Denver home or up to $1 million cash. Don't wait. And as we talked about yesterday, there are only a few days left. This will end on Friday, and you can win so many other things. There's more than 90 prizes. Go to RockyMountainRaffle.com to buy tickets. It all supports the boys and girls clubs of Colorado. This is popped up and Olivo and Helton converging. This is going to stay in play for Miguel. Well, that was a tough one. Whenever you see a catcher reach out and flip around like it's a pancake, you know that he didn't see it all that well.
Well, that and the fact of the distance you got to run. Helton's playing deep with a left-hander bat at the plate. He's playing well back of the grass, so his run's much longer. It's just a play that has to be made. Miguel made it.
Will Venable retired, and that'll bring up John Garland, who the Rockies have not retired tonight, George. A walk and a single. And they still haven't retired John Garland. You gotta be kidding me with this. Garland in a second with a double. And almost tagged out there. John Garland 2 for 2 and a walk. He's their MVP on offense also.
Easy. Glad you're 6'5".
Bob Apodaca going out to talk to Del Carmen because Aaron Cunningham is the other MVP of the offense tonight for San Diego. 2 singles and a double for Cunningham. Trivia question brought to you by AT&T. How many Colorado players have won a batting title? We show you Carlos Gonzalez because right now he has a fairly sizable lead on his partner Troy Tulowitzki in the batting race in the National League. Came in to this ball game hitting .337. A strike on Cunningham. This is a big sequence right here, George.
That is. You got your battle back to make it a 1-run ball game. John Garland has averaged just 6 innings per start, so you're going to get right back into that bullpen area again that you don't want to get into. Get this out because you're already, you can see Olivo. I don't know if you noticed what Olivo did here. kind of did. He wiggled his glove behind the batter with the batter up. See, watch. See this right here? See him wiggling the glove from behind? That has a lot to do with where he's throwing the baseball or pick it off, or to allow and let. And it's an easy thing to do, is to let Melvin Mora know that it's going to be an off-speed pitch. So then he can scoot closer to the line and allows him to make a play on it. Catchers not only give signals to pitchers, they also do it to infielders.
One and two on Cunningham.
273 batter with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Otherwise, 320.
And this is popped up to short. Easy play for Tulowitzki. Del Carmen does a nice job there after giving up the double to Garland. 4-3 as we go to the bottom of the 6th at Coors Field. This was a pretty double play. 3-6. Tulo jumps and he hits Hamill for a huge double play, because the Padres folks had an opportunity in the early innings against Jason Hamill to score a bunch of runs. I know they got 4, but it could have been far worse than that. And the Rockies battled back to 4-3, getting 3 in the 4th inning. And now they come up in the bottom of the 6th with the top of the order: Eric Young, Dexter Fowler, Carlos Gonzalez. Time for our AT&T trivia question once again. How many Colorado players have won a batting title? Well, traditionally the Rockies have guys in the mix when you have hitters like Todd Helton. Well, Galarraga won one in '93 at 370. Walker won 3 batting titles. Helton won in 2000. He was edged out 1 year by Pujols. Matt Holliday won in 2007. Could this be Cargo's year? And let's not discount Tulowitzki. He's right there also.
Yeah, for 4 years the trophy never left the mountains. That was the good part about it. The batting title stayed right here. Well, this one has got everything started for the Rockies. Back in the 4th was Ewing. That hard shot to first base. It was not fielded by Gonzalez, and a base hit by Fowler. A double by Carlos Gonzalez.
Oh, 2. Strike 3. Two-seamed him.
Sure did. He just threw in the wiffle ball fastball, threw it right at him. And what you want to do is watch Ewing's reaction. Watch him come up straight. See, he had a little hip bend and turn there because he thought the ball might catch him. So he's trying to sell it, but the ball came back to the plate. And quite honestly, Jeff Nelson gave a little bit to the veteran Garland to get the strikeout.
Fowler got the first hit of the game for the Rockies in the 4th. The Rockies have only 3 hits. They all came in that 4th inning. Clean line drive to center field. that's in there, 0-2. Take a look at today's Quest high-speed pitch, brought to you by Quest, the high-speed internet provider of the Rockies. Garland at 93, Hamill hit 96, but it was a short outing for Jason. 1-2.
Ninth straight year for Garland to make at least 30 starts. That says an awful lot for him. You look at Dexter tonight, what he's done, but it says a lot about John Garland and what he has done as a starting pitcher throughout baseball. And over those 9 years of having that many starts, he's won 10 in every one of those 9 years, at least 10 wins.
Good pitcher with the Chicago White Sox for a number of years, and he got to the big leagues pretty quickly. Southern California kid, LA area. He'll be 31 later this month. For a guy that's already won 130 ball games, that's still pretty young by today's standards. Gonzalez ripped a double past Adrian Gonzalez to score 2 runs in that 4th inning. Rockies down 4-3. Cargo is 10 for 17 lifetime against Garland. Garland likes to see Cargo like you like to see snow on the 4th of July. I mean, he has owned John Garland.
All he's thinking about now is if hit solid, please just keep it in the yard. It was hit solid for single right at Ludwig.
Well, his prayer was answered, George, right?
Well, I mean, you know, seriously, I mean, when a guy owns you like this, you do one of two things. Or one of three things, really. You hope he keeps it in the park. You walk him or you drill him and manage only one base out of the deal.
Except the guy at deck's no fun to deal with either. Here comes Troy Tulowitzki. The Rocks often give up a lot of hits or runs in early innings, and then they soon settle in. Does that indicate they aren't warmed up when they come out?
Nope, not at all. What it amounts to, a lot of times hitters get aggressive early against guys. But more importantly, you watch around Major League Baseball, that second, third time through the lineup, hitters having a way of adjusting to pitchers. And that's when pitchers have to adjust the other way, and some guys just don't do it. And that's when you see the success happen in that 3rd, 4th, and 5th inning of a ball game.
Now, Ralph, it may seem that way to you. I'll share something with you in a moment. I'll do it right now. The Rockies have outscored the opposition this year, Ralph, in the 1st inning, the 2nd inning, the 3rd inning by 45. The 4th inning, they're all even in the 5th inning. So it may seem that way to you, but the Rockies actually have jumped on opponents frequently this year. Their problem earlier in the year is they didn't score many runs in the latter part of ball games. Repair that chip in your windshield by calling Safelite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelight.com.
Matt Belisle and Matt Reynolds warming up down in a bullpen for the Rockies.
Belisle, somebody Jim Tracy wanted to try to stay away from tonight. Tulowitzki hits one to Hendrick, and that's all for the Rockies in the 6th inning. It remains 4-3 as we go to the 7th, 2, 3, and 4 for the Padres.
back. Fourth inning, Padres were up 2-0, 2 out, 2-run double from David Eckstein. But the Rockies would come back in the bottom half of the inning. Look at this rocket down the first base line. Adrian Gonzalez got eaten up. 2 runs come in, a double, and then Todd Helton lifted a fly ball to score the 3rd run. That's where we stand, 4-3. San Diego top of 7 already. That's brought to you by Cooney Lexus, where luxury has an address. 3rd inning of work for Manny Del Carmen. Eckstein is 2 for 3. And he's got it on the ground to EY.
See, this is one of those ball games as a manager with 18.5 games to go in the season that you'll look back and see what Manny Del Carmen has done if you win this baseball game, because you traded for him not to be Betancourt, not to be Belial, but to be that 3rd or 4th strong arm with experience you could use in your bullpen. And yes, he struggled first outing, but the next 2 and this one have been very, very good. He's gone 2 innings 4 times this year, so it's a little bit of foreign territory now, working into the 3rd inning. But a lot of times, this is what helps straighten out guys' delivery. You see Jimmy getting on the phone. He's asking if Matt Reynolds is ready, because Gonzalez is in the on-deck circle. This is his batter. Then he'll make the turn to Gonzalez. Del Carmen's been very good so far.
He's got to get a tough out, Tejada. He's 2-0 on Tejada, who singled in a run in the 1st, ground ball to 2nd, and a strikeout. And you're absolutely right in that description of Manny Del Carmen. This could be an enormous contribution, particularly either way. But if the Rockies can come back and find a way to win this thing,
well,
but but even if they don't, he's picked up the bullpen tonight. EY unable to come up with that, and Tejada does not run like he did when he played for the A's or in the early days with Baltimore. Had he come up with that, George, I think he's able to throw him out.
I agree. I think so too.
And that will be an error on Young, his 2nd of the game.
Now, right over the top. He come in and field the baseball, just didn't stay down on it. Hit on the outer edge, like I closed the webbing too early.
So 1 out, 1 on, and Del Carmen will go off, and he did a very nice job. Manny Del Carmen goes 2 1/3. 4-3 San Diego. Rockies catcher and September call-up Paul Phillips introduces you to the newest players in the clubhouse that made the jump to the big leagues in September. Paul's a funny man. Join Mike McHenry's first call to the show. Jay Payton's journey back to the big leagues. And we'll see how each player's path is different, but with the same goal in mind. That'll be fun. Rockies All Access on Thursday night at 6 right here on FSN Rocky Mountain. So Tejada reaches on that miscue by Eric Young, and Adrian Gonzalez
up against Matt Reynolds. Fastball down low. I asked Adrian today, I said, how many pitches do you actually see a night that are truly good pitches to hit? Because unlike facing a team like the Rockies, where if you're the opposition manager, obviously you don't want Gonzalez to beat you, but you also have Tulowitzki. He fouls that straight back. You know, and Helton's still going to give you more often than not a deep at bat. He's not hitting where he is accustomed to hitting in terms of average. The point being, Adrian Gonzalez is the focal point of every opposition team's pitching staff. Do not let him beat you.
Absolutely it is. This is the guy.
And he gets a lot of situational lefties. And he pops it up to right center field. Easy play for Seth Smith. That's a big out. Number 2. And now Ryan Ludwig coming up. What does the inherited runners stat for pitchers mean, Donna, in Fort Collins? Well, I'll let a former reliever tell you all about it.
Well,
Donna.
I appreciate that. It's whenever you come into a ball game, if that runner is on first base and he does not score, that means you've done really well. That inherited runner has not scored. You inherit the runner from the previous pitcher, whether it's a starter or a reliever out of the bullpen. And you'd like the outstanding ones are in that 85 range, 85%, 90% range. Those are the outstanding guys. Average 70 to 75%. You start getting below that, you're not doing your job. Tracy's going to go hit the right-hander Bilal to get out of this inning.
And this is a place where, instead of looking at the numbers, where Ludwig's hit only .214 against lefties, he wants to go with his guy, Matt Bilal, who's just been so dominant. Good job by Reynolds. He got the very difficult Adrian Gonzalez, and here comes Matt Bilal, who has pitched more innings than any other reliever in the National League. Here's the situation for Matt Bilal. You have Miguel Tejada at first. He reached on an Eric Young error, and he'll face Ryan Ludwig. Here's his work the last 7 days. Worked Tuesday and Thursday, and very efficiently. Sunday he worked a short period. Monday he threw 24 pitches. What's not told there, that George Frazier knows so well as Ludwig fouls this off, is how many times did he get up? How many bullets did he throw down in a bullpen?
Well, I think the one thing about Jim Tracy with Bilal, Betancourt, Beimel, Street, he doesn't get them up very rarely and not bring them in the game. And one thing Jim Wright has helped them is the understanding of how to warm up. When you're loose, stand and watch. You got 3 or 4 when you see Tracy pops out. You got another 8 when you get out on the mound.
Good block there by Olivo.
Guys that have difficult time getting loose and knowing how to handle the bullpen is your long hauler long relievers, spot starters, because they're used to having the ability to take a long time to get loose.
85 innings of relief work, not only the most in the National League, the most in the big leagues this year. Here's the 1-1 to Ludwig, and that's in tight. 2-1 at 93.
He doesn't necessarily lose velocity when he's tired. He loses command.
Did you find that with yourself?
No, because I was a sinker ball guy. He's a power guy. You know, he's a four-seam hard slider guy.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Ludwig. And now he can go a couple of ways, George. He can go with that mid-90s fastball or the hard breaking ball.
Well, if he goes with a breaking ball, you just got to make sure you stay on top. I mean, Ludwig will chase it. If you get enough of the spot in here, if you get it too far and let it break away from him. So fastball away, that was at 94 in a very good location. That ball could have shot down the line.
That was the definition of an emergency hack.
Yep. He knew it was going to be a strike and just decided to go ahead. Well, this season in 5 ball games against the Rockies, Ludwig has swung the bat much better than he has in the overall season.
2-2 on Ludwig. 2 outs. Tejada, conservative lead, and this is a base hit. And Tejada will stop at second, and that'll bring up Chase Headley.
That's not what you want to have happen. Hey, don't forget to register online by midnight tonight. That's right, by midnight tonight for your opportunity to buy 2010 Division Series tickets. So do it. Fans will be randomly selected out of this. ColoradoRockies.com for more information. Get busy.
Strike 1 on Headley. He's 0 for 3. Strikeout, grounded into a 3-6-1 double play, and he also grounded to second. Belisle trying to keep it a 1-run ball game here in the 7th. Time granted by Jeff Nelson. Headley moved from the outfield to third base this year. He took over for Kevin Kuzminoff, who was moved to Oakland. Here's the 0-1. Kuzminoff a little more pop than Headley.
Well, the other side of it, too, I think Headley a little better hitter. Decent third baseman, but I think the thing with him, he was a guy that had 1 year less, too, in the big leagues at the time. So cost efficient to an organization that was trying to drop salary and payroll. You know, their decision was, are we going to win with Kuzminoff or without? Let's take our chances. This guy's a pretty good natural third baseman. A lot of clubs like that. They'll make a ton of money at the gate or a ton of money in revenue. They'll flip it over to a young guy in a hurry.
2-1. Swung on and missed. 2-2.
Good pitch. Outside, and then some late tail on this fastball at 94. In the Hyundai cam, you can just see how that bat just misses the baseball.
And almost always you'll see a hitter, when he swings and misses on a fastball, work underneath it. 2-2, and it's fouled off. That was a hard slider. Breaking balls, when they swing and miss, typically the hitter swings over the top.
And the reason behind that, the ball's breaking down.
Two-two. In the air, foul and out of play down the left field line. Gonzalez sprinted over there, but ball was deep into the seats.
We always like to do this, and this is watch your catcher, umpire, see if they close or stay open. Look at this. See, a lot of times they close their eyes. So Levo and the umpire both shut them at the swing of the bat.
Let's see where Belisle goes here, 2-2. Wants to come back in, and he gets a weak ground ball to help. Great job by Matt Belisle. Stretch time at Coors Field. The Rockies looking for late game heroics again. 4-3 Padres. Well, it's not should the outfield wall be removed, but should the first row of seats where fans can reach over be eliminated. And I'm with the 80% that voted no. Fan interference doesn't happen that frequently. We have replay. They figure it out very quickly. Let the fans be as close to the action as possible. I'm with all of you. Here's Helton against Garland, and the slider misses ball one. Todd a sac fly his last time up. Also a ground ball to third. Rockies have been held to 4 hits by John Garland, but they're down just a run. That's a strike.
6 times Garland had gone 7 innings prior to June the 5th. Since that time, he's gone 7 innings just once.
One and two. Here's something I think you may find interesting. One of the things that front office people on the baseball operations side look at to evaluate different clubs is run differential. In other words, how many runs your team has scored after a significant period of time during the season, and how many your club has given up. It's an indication. Usually, you know, if you're well above 50-50, in other words, if you've outscored the opposition by 30 or 40 runs, typically that equates to a team that naturally is above 500. It doesn't always work out that way. The Rockies are 7th this year in run differential. They're plus 68. That's in the National League. I don't think, George, you'll ever guess the team that's #1 in run differential this year in the NL. 2-2.
Well, go ahead. Who do you think it is?
Well, you know it's a good team. So who do you think it is?
I'm going to say Cincinnati.
That's a great guess, George, because they score a lot of runs. They got a really good pitching staff. Yeah. Superb guess. That's who I would have guessed. It's Atlanta plus 123. That one's surprising.
Well, they do have a good pitching staff down there. Pretty good bullpen has done a decent job for him. Billy Wagner's been outstanding. You know what I think should happen?
What's that?
Kind of off the wall, but If Atlanta gets knocked out of this thing with 10 days to go, I think they should sell us Billy Wagner to help out the bullpen.
There's one. Well, there's a couple problems.
You know, just for a chance to come over and get the postseason.
Well, it wouldn't work because
he can get the postseason.
September 1st.
No, that doesn't matter. Because if a player gets hurt, you can replace him on the roster if he's here.
Well, somebody's got to get hurt.
Imagine that.
One out. When do you think that Mike McHenry will get his first chance to catch, seeing as Ionetta's hurt? I think in the pecking order, Jim Tracy would defer first to Paul Phillips, a guy that has played at the big league level, and not put that kind of burden on a kid seeing the big leagues for the first time in a pennant race, no less.
Yeah, and you know, scouts talk pretty highly of him, his catching ability. I mean, he averaged, I know one scout, prominent scout with a very good National League team, had his throws to second base timed at 188 was the quickest, 196 the slowest.
That's good. Anything, 2 is looked upon as average. Seth Smith up there with 2 outs. Smith is 0 for 2 in the game. This will be his third look at John Garland. Again, enter the Rocky Mountain Raffle for a chance to support boys and girls clubs and win a downtown Denver homer up to $1 million cash. Just 3 days left to enter. Plenty of prizes, more than 90 additional prizes. Go to RockyMountainRaffle.com now to buy tickets. And strike one on Smith. Said it before. You want somebody else kind of getting going in the bottom of the order. Miguel Olivo of late has swung the bat better. Love to see Seth Smith start cooking. And he's behind 0-2. Smith hitting just 115 in the month of August, and in September not a ton better. He's at 233. This is 20 for his last 104. He's too good a hitter to stay in something like that.
Well, you would think so. He's at 233 before the game in the month of September, a guy that just hasn't done much. I mean, that's not what you would anticipate from Seth Smith.
You ask Don Baylor, and he'll say he has the lowest maintenance swing on the team. I mean, it's pretty swing. He's short to the baseball. Pops this up. It's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Garland. 7 innings complete. It is still 4-3 Padres. place. Padres got 2 runs in the first against Jason Hamill. Hamill lasted only 4 innings, giving up 4 runs on 10 hits. The Rockies got 3 in the bottom of the fourth. Really the only inning they've done anything against John Garland. David Eckstein, a 2-run double for the Padres. Carlos Gonzalez has 2 of the 3 RBIs tonight for the Rockies. His 102nd and 103rd. Our Ecotech Institute game summary. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, and Alana Rizzo. The Rockies will send their 8th inning man to the hill despite a 1-run deficit. Gives you an idea of the importance of this game, the importance of this time of year. Rockies trailing the Padres by 2.5 in the division. And it'll be Betancourt to face Nick Hundley, Will Venable, and then we'll see on John Garland, who has pitched a tremendous ball game. He's due up 3rd.
Well, what I was thinking what he might do is send Garland out to face Olivo, which Olivo has had 2 ground balls to shortstop. If he sends him out to pitch, and let's say at that point Tracy uses Giambi, then the one left-hander he truly trusts down in the bullpen would be Thatcher, that he would send out to come and face Giambi. Now the problem you have with that, of course, is who's going to take Gonzalez on the left side in the 9th inning, but if they have the lead, it's going to be Heath Bell as it was last night.
Yeah, Bud Black was talking about that before the ball game. He said, you know, he holds back Thatcher to deal with one of the big lefties, Gonzalez or Giambi. He said, but he knows that they're going to be spaced out enough that he's not afraid of letting Thatcher face a right-handed bat, but he doesn't want that right-handed bat to be like a Tulowitzki. And he did not even mention Ramos, and it's not a knock on Ramos, but he's not going to put him in that situation late in the ball game.
Well, you're not going to put a young kid like that out there. 10 complete games for Garland. His last was on August the 29th, 2009. He threw 86 pitches against the Mets.
Here's the 1-1 on Hundley. Swung on and missed. 94 on the radar gun. Now, one of the stats that's very favorable for John Garland right now, not only how well he's pitched, but the pitch count stat of just 86 through 7 innings.
Well, I think more than likely, and I mentioned this earlier, since July or June 5th, he has not gone beyond the 6th inning but 1 time. That may factor with it too.
And the strikeout of Hundley by Betancourt.
A hard slider right on the outside corner part of the plate. And again, this is that short, quick arm action of Betancourt. So the slider at 82 will appear to even be greater than that. It will appear 86, 87 because of that short arm action.
Right-handers, George, in the last few months have about as much chance of hitting Betancourt as you do eating Jell-O with chopsticks. I mean, they got no chance. Venable, a base hit over the head of Young. And I think with the runner at first, well, let's see. No, it's still not.
It's going to be Matt Stairs.
Yeah, it's going to be Stairs. That's the guy that Bud Black always holds back. It's not Garland. It's going to be Stairs. I thought maybe you'd see Garland to bunt, take a shot at scoring Venable on a base hit. Repair any damage to your windshield by calling Safelite Auto Glass at 303-287-5000 or go to safelight.com. Matt Stairs owns 10 career home runs and just 98 career at-bats against the Rockies.
364 average against Betancourt.
A funny story about Matt Stairs. He's now on his 12th big league team. That's the most ever by a position player. Stairs, when he was signed as a shortstop and a pitcher. And he still throws bullpens, throws side sessions during the season. And it's not like he's doing this on his own. Bud Black's aware of it. And the other day, when the Padres were down 11-1 against the Giants, Stairs was warming up and he was going to go in the ball game, and Adrian Gonzalez hit a grand slam to make it 11-5. And so it tightened up enough that Bud Black said, all right, I'm not going to use Stairs on the hill. Stairs told me before the game he's thrown 14 bullpens this year. I said, well, what do you got?
At his age, it's going to be a lot of nothing.
He said the third pitch I remember him mentioning was a knuckleball. One and out. Closing in on 100 career hits off the bench, too, for Matt Stairs. There was a time he played regularly, going back to his Oakland days. One and one. Venable, a plus runner at first. And Raphael not particularly fast to the plate.
Well, you got to tighten things up. You got to do hold the runner where it is, because if he does happen to get a ball into the gap with one out, try to prevent him from scoring. The Rockies outfield fairly deep right now.
Fly ball to center field and deep. Fowler going back near the wall. This one is down. Matt Stairs has done his thing. A 2-run, 8th-inning home run to pad the lead for the Padres. They're now up 6-3.
Third pinch hit home run. Last night it was Salazar who hit the home run off of the bench. He's the right-handed complement for Bud Black. He has 2 pinch hit home runs. Now Stairs has 3.
Well, Bud Black waits all night to play his Matt Stairs card, just like Jim Tracy waits to play his Jason Giambi card, and Stairs got one.
Yeah, the softball swing comes in pretty handy. That bat laid right on that back shoulder. Then explosion through the strike zone out of the reach of Dexter Fowler.
.22 pinch hit home runs in Stairs' career. He has extended his career by a number of years because of his ability to do just that. Rockies have been out hit in this game 14-4 by a team that has been struggling to score runs all month long and really all year long to score bunches of runs.
I showed the graphic earlier at the start of this series where Tulowitzki and Gonzalez that hit more home runs, has driven in more runs than their whole team had in the last 8 games.
Cunningham is a strikeout victim. That'll bring up Eckstein. And it's tough enough to get after this San Diego bullpen, George, but when you got to score 3, it makes it a real tall order.
Well, a real hard time with Adams, Gregerson, and Bell finishing up things for their bullpen.
$40,532 fans at Coors Field right now. Who wants tacos? Fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more in a game, and the Rockies need to do that tonight, text the keyword taco to 95323. One and one on Eckstein. All-time pinch hit home run list. Stairs is #1. Cliff Johnson second on that list. And earlier we mentioned John Vanderwall. He's third on the all-time list. A couple ex-Rockies in the top 5. Mark Sweeney's on that list also. Now working for the Dodgers as a special assistant to Ned Colletti. 2-1.
Eckstein tried to check everything and hold everything up. And again, he likes that inside fastball if he recognizes with that open stance. Choked up, jittery at the bat.
Padres 81-62 at the beginning of play tonight. The Rockies 79-65. What number do you think it'll take to win the division? Is it 90, 91, 92? Is it more than that? It looked to be more than that a few weeks ago before the Padres lost 10 in a row. I know what Adrian Gonzalez believes. Talked to him for a while in the clubhouse today. He thinks it's 91, and he said, you know, it's a big game tonight. He said, you know what, and this is very typical of baseball players. He said, we just need, in my mind, to come up. He felt like 91 wins.
Doesn't matter if they happen tonight. It's one of those 91.
Exactly, and that's what he was saying. He said when there was 20 left, he said, I told the guys we need to go 12-8 at least.
Well, the thing about it, I think that the broadcasters and fans and talk radio and newspapers, they don't really get the feel that you have till on a 162-game schedule. And to be into the hunt in this late a part of the season and not to hit the panic button. You have to figure out a way to mellow yourself and look at this is not do or die game tonight. You win, sure, you expand your lead against San Francisco and the Colorado Rockies. If you lose, you're back to where you started yesterday. So you come out and try to play the game the best you can.
And from the Rockies' perspective, to get to 91, they have 79 right now, so you can do the math. Maybe more than that. So you just got to keep winning.
I think if you start worrying about Friday on Tuesday, you're in trouble.
Strike 3 on Eckstein. Betancourt ends up striking out the side, but Venable singled in the middle, and Matt Stairs a pinch hit 2-run home run. Padres up 6-3, middle of 8. Long distance, call 1-800-XFINITY. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. by the Courtyard by Marriott on the 16th Street Mall. Call 303-571-1114 and ask about our hometown sports package. And by the Great Colorado Payback, reuniting you with your money. 6-3 San Diego after the 2-run Matt Stairs home run. The Rockies have not had much offense tonight, and they have not produced any offense this year against Mike Adams. He has thrown shutout baseball all season long against Colorado.
It hasn't just been against Colorado. 1 earned run in his last 20 appearances for Mr. Adams.
Miguel Olivo with Spilborghs on deck, and Olivo pops up the first pitch. 1 pitch and 1 out. A reminder to all those that are potentially interested, the Rockies 2011 Fantasy Camp will be a particularly special one. It's always a great time. It'll be the final one in Tucson. You'll also get a sneak peek at the Rockies' new spring training facility in Phoenix, where Fantasy Camp will be held in 2012. And look who's coming. A partner, George Frazier, will be one of the coaches. Andres Galarraga, Dante Bichette, Larry Walker. And some of the big league staff will be there, and some players also. That's January 25th to the 29th. Call 303-312-CAMP or find out more information at ColoradoRockies.com. You don't want to miss out. It is just a great time. I go every year. Here is Spilborghs. And the slider is outside. Billy's been swinging the bat very well. Eight-game hitting streak for Spilborghs. Young has an 8-game hitting streak also. Rockies trying to create traffic for the big guns down the road. Gonzalez and Tulowitzki. 2-1. Garland, 7 innings. He gives up 3 runs, only 1 of which was earned. That's Edgar Escalona. And another base hit for Ryan Spilborghs. This is how lean things have been for the Rockies offense in this game. They got 3 runs and 3 hits in the 4th inning. Other than that, they got a single in the 6th from Gonzalez. He has 2 of the Rockies' 5 hits tonight. And they just got that hit from Spilborghs. And that's it in terms of base runners, because Garland didn't walk anybody. There were 2 errors behind him. Eric Young reached on 1 of those errors. It was on Adrian Gonzalez in the 4th.
Thatcher's getting ready for 1 guy, and that is Gonzalez here in the 8th inning to allow Heath Bell.
This ball is pretty well hit to deep center field, but Venable is going to get back there and make the catch. Young is retired. Fowler will be coming up. With any speed player, George, one of the things that you try to get them to understand, and again, this is easier said than done, is try to get the ball on the ground if you have great wheels.
Well, you have to. I mean, the last thing you want to see if you're Jim Tracy is Eric Young or even Dexter Fowler, who has more power, but those are guys with a lot of wheels. Put the thing on the ground, hit on top of the baseball, get a line drive, versus trying to swing for that fence in left center that's 400 from that area where he caught the ball, 422 feet from the plate. Get on base. And EY's done a nice job of that.
If Fowler can get on, the tying run would come up in Gonzalez. This game couldn't have played out any better from Bud Black's perspective. He got a great start of considerable length from Garland, and he still has Thatcher left, as you saw And there's the base hit. So the Rockies will get the tying run up in Fargo. Bud Black will go take the baseball from Mike Adams. And he'll ask Thatcher to get Gonzalez. He was able to do that yesterday. But you know how quick a study Carlos Gonzalez is.
Yeah, the hardest thing you got to deal with on him, too, is the fact of how he approaches it. I mean, he's one of those guys that's going to drop, and he's going to cross way over, and he's going to drop way under, and throw the ball from basically, you know, like first base into the plate. A lot of odd angles for you.
We'll see that matchup when we come back to Coors Field. Padres up 6-3. Bottom of the 8th, but because of hits from Spilborghs off the bench and Dexter Fowler a moment ago against Mike Adams, we have this matchup. The left-handed specialist Joe Thatcher against Carlos Gonzalez, MVP Triple Crown candidate. Thatcher's allowed lefties to hit 194, and as you see on that graphic, the only home run he's allowed this year actually did come against the left-handed bat.
30 games since the break, 15 innings, 11 hits. He's given up 1 run, 0.60 earned run average, a 196 average. Yesterday, it was all big sweeping sliders that he threw. Now, you know, I go back to when Gonzalez was facing Javier Lopez, and he hung that slider right here, and he hit it in the 3rd deck of Coors Field.
Outside ball 1. Now Cargo's seen him 4 times. He has 2 hits against him. And in that sequence yesterday, he had a couple of real good hacks on Thatcher before he threw that sweeper that George was talking about. That was filthy and struck out Gonzalez. It looked like Gonzalez saw the ball well. 2-0.
Yesterday, that was a strike.
Gonzalez could care less what side you throw from. He's hitting righties at 350, lefties at 316. 2 on, 2 outs. We're in the 8th inning.
Boy, you talk about a tough pitch to hit. That thing's right, and you can see that thing starting right on the outside corner and staying right there, and on a 2-0 count on a sky cam from Southwest, you got a pretty good look at how much movement's on that ball and where it comes from. So right back to the fastball again, but that time he elevated it.
That may have been the first pitch that was in the zone.
Yeah, I think this ball was even up, Drew. And this thing appeared to get up into the top of the strike zone if it did. I mean, that ball was high, but a not typical type strike that gets called in a game.
2-2 on Gonzalez. You know he's going to see the sweeper again.
Well, you would think. I mean, he's showing him all nothing but fastballs. He showed it to him again. I mean, that's 5 straight fastballs at 86 to 89 miles an hour. He's yet to give him the slider in this entire at-bat. I hope something didn't go wrong in the backside of this thing on that swing right there. He seemed kind of fight and grab that backside a little bit and start to rub out a little while.
Yeah, now Keith Duggar's come out. Can't have that. This man cannot go down. Oh, you know what, George? It was a reaction where the hand, you know, that wrist has been bothering him on and off, and he's had the thumb taped up. And he also wears that thumb protector. So while it looked like it was a back issue, it evidently was a hand or thumb issue.
Couldn't really see anything out of the swing.
Billboard's at second, Fowler at first. And a base hit up the middle. Here comes Billboards. Dexter will go first to third. 6-4 Colorado. How about that, Carlos Gonzalez? 3 RBI night, and the go-ahead run coming up in Troy Tulowitzki. Trainer comes out. Next pitch, a bullet up the middle.
Well, obviously everything's okay with the thumb. This fastball was down in the strike zone, though. Made it a little more easy for Gonzalez to stay on. Top hand came off the bat in a hurry, but that bottom hand drove it right back up the middle and brought in Spilborghs from second base. And all of a sudden you got a 2-run game, and Bud Black saying, you know, this is my guy right now, and it's time to go win this ball game. And he's bringing his closer in for a 4-out save in Heath Bell.
So Dexter Fowler, who singles now at third base in a 2-run ball game. Carlos Gonzalez, 3 hits, 3 RBIs for the NL leader in hitting. And Troy Tulowitzki, who is second in hitting in the league, will face Heath Bell. And Bud Black asking Bell, who has 41 saves, to get 4 outs.
Now, 5th time. He's already done it 5 times. And over those 5 times, he is 4 for 4 in save opportunities with them. Tulowitzki would like to change the history between he and Bell. He is 0 for 11 in his career against Heath Bell.
Tulo's 1 for 3. He had an infield hit, slow grounder to short earlier in the ball game. Other than that, he's had a ground ball to short and a ground ball to third. The outfield is trying to prevent Gonzalez to score the tying run, so they are exceptionally deep.
Infield pulled over on the line, too. They don't want any doubles jerked down the line with Heath Bell. Fastball 90-93.
And I can tell you this much. There are guys that just by their mannerisms, and Heath Bell's a good guy, but he can get under people's skins, especially the other dugout. Tulowitzki would like nothing more than to turn one of those heaters around. And he hits it high in the air to right field. It is playable for Ludwig. He got under it a smidgen. The Rockies inch closer. 6-4 on the base hit by Cargo. That Stairs, a 2-run home run, and that's the difference right now in this ball game. A pinch hit 2-run home run in the top of the 8th by Stairs, and the Padres have a 2-run lead now after that base hit by Gonzalez got the Rockies to 6-4. Rockies been out hit 14-7 coming up after the ball game. The post-game report as always, and Mark Stout has some more details. Mark?
Yes, Drew, we will talk about the fireworks that you just mentioned. The offense exploding for San Diego, bottomed out 5th through 9, and the Rockies ordered 1 hit on the night tonight. And Manny Del Carmen came in and did his best to keep this game where it was at. That's all coming up on the post-game show, guys.
Yeah, let's not forget what Manny Del Carmen did. It was a rough outing, a rare rough outing for Jason Hamill, and Manny Del Carmen came in and was terrific for 2 1/3. Gave up just 1 hit, struck out a batter, and if not for an error, he may have pitched a full 3 innings. Actually, he would have gone 2 2/3 as Reynolds was going to face Adrian Gonzalez. So here we go. Miguel Tejada against Escalona. And this is a situation for Escalona that he probably didn't expect to pitch in.
Well, he's down 2 runs here. I think, they probably felt like by coming to the big leagues, this was another power arm. That you get into games that you're down 3 or 4 runs, you run one of the kids out there and let them see what they can do. Escalona is not really a kid. He's 24, turning 25 years old.
But because the bullpen has had to pick up so many innings the last 3 days, I don't think Jim Tracy had many other options. Maybe the other option, George, is another young guy in Samuel DeDuno.
He would have been a guy you could have gone to. Another guy, maybe Morales. This ball's going to get up against the wall. Tejada race into second base. You just don't want this thing getting expanded any more than it already is. And you got the middle of the lineup with Gonzalez coming up.
So leadoff double for Miguel Tejada.
Fastball, right center cut, kind of like last night that he got a base hit on. he just drove this thing all the way up against the wall in right center field.
Look out, and Tejada, and he saw that ball pop out of Olivo's glove momentarily. He got off the bag even further. A walk, Adrian Gonzalez set up a double play opportunity for Ryan Ludwig. And the guy with the most experience that's left down there is Franklin Morales. He threw the 9th inning yesterday. He gave up a home run to Oscar Salazar and nearly a home run earlier in that inning. And there's also Matt Daly, but George Daly's made one appearance in the last, what, 2.5 months?
Well, he has, but I mean, again, it's you know, you go to Frankie, he's down there. Beimel, you don't want to go to. You've pitched too many days in a row. They don't know. It's Frankie. I think it's probably going to be Matt Daly. I mean, he's the other veteran guy to come in and shorten it up with a ground ball double play. It will be Matt Daly.
Ludwig is 3 for 4. The one time the Rockies got him out, it was on a wonderful play down the third base line by Melvin Mora. Popped up out of play. Outside at 96 miles an hour. 1-2. That's popped up out of play. Escalona with the Sky Sox, 3-5, an ERA of 6. Struck out 74 in 69 innings. He also walked 32.
I don't really pay attention to ERAs at Colorado Springs. It's higher than what it is here. You have a couple of bad outings out of the bullpen. Get pretty ugly pretty quick. He struggled with his command early in the season. In the last 60 days earned him the promotion to get here to the big leagues because he found the strike zone and started really listening to Doug Litton, the pitching coach at Colorado Springs.
Sixth inning in San Francisco. No score between the Dodgers and the Giants. That's Barry Zito against the young left-hander for the Dodgers, who doesn't give up many runs.
Clayton Kershaw.
Look out, Glenn Hoffman. Atlanta got beat tonight by Washington. We didn't mention that. 6-0. That's good news for the Rockies. Philadelphia won 2-1 in South Florida, so the Phils increased their lead in the National League East. They're now 2 games up on the Braves. Got him with a slider. That's a big strikeout. Ludwig gone. First out here in the 9th inning. That'll bring up Chase Headley.
Hard slider. Late breaking, a little bit up in the zone, but it was enough to get the punch out on the Hyundai can.
Headley tonight's 0 for 4. Rockies bullpen has now picked up over the last 3 days. They're hunting 16 innings of work. Day game tomorrow. De La Rosa and Clayton Richard. Rockies 3 for 4 with runners in scoring position. That's great, but the Padres have had 8 more opportunities. Rockies been out hit 15-7. Big swing and a miss. And it's 1-2. To another slider. 2-2. Ground ball to first. Helton is going to have to race to the bag. He won't get there. Escalona didn't cover.
Nope, didn't cover. He thought he'd probably going to go to second base with it, but you can't anticipate that. You have to get to first base. Yeah, mental mistake by the young right-hander, that's for sure.
He got what he was looking for. He got a ground ball.
Sure did, but you see how deep Helton's playing? You got to understand where your fielders are and what you got to do instead of standing and watching. He looked to go to second, and he's not there, and then just forget about it. You're not going to win that race. Oh, I can hear George Kissel now, the Cardinals' longtime instructor who passed away a year ago. Fly ball right field, fairly deep, too.
It's plenty deep enough to get a run home. Tell you what, Tejada did score in front of that almost out. As Headley moved up on the sac fly by Huntley.
You're going to like the way this thing looks. Here's the strong throw into second base, and they know you better hurry. And he did. Well, I tell you what, that's pretty close. That was really close of whether he Tejada scored or not.
3-run lead again, and they'll go ahead and put on Venable with Heath Bell on deck. I see Heath Bell down there. He's supposed to be
he's
down
coming
there.
out.
All right.
He had to find a bat. He doesn't have any gloves. They never hit. Closers very rarely hit in the game.
They scored that a base hit. I was trying to think if there's any way you can score it a fielder's choice, but Todd didn't go anywhere with the baseball, so you have to give
there's nothing you can do
Headley a hit.
You can't put down forgot to cover first, error pitcher. You'd like to. You'd like to, but you can't.
This is the 6th career at bat for Bell, his first since 2006. And Escalona misses ball 1. The bases are loaded. This also changes, George, where you fire Jason Giambi. Now you got to create a little bit more traffic.
Well, yeah, you got to put traffic on the base pass.
If you keep, but you know, if you got one man on, and it's still 6-4 as opposed to 7-4, you play the Giambi card.
You do. Sure you do. Now you'd hope you get a couple of guys on base. The Rockies will send up Helton, Moore, and Smith in the 9th. Don't you know? Got a guy up there with a horrible hack that never gets to hit, and that's when you get one fouled off the forearm.
One and two. And it's 2-2 on Bell. Padres came to town, losers of 13 of 17. And now it is full on Heath Bell, who again has not been in a batter's box in 4 years.
And I will assure you of one thing. I can't imagine Heath Bell swinging at anything right now. He might.
He does, and it's lined, fortunately, right at Smith. In the inning, the Padres get another run. 7-4 San Diego as we go to the bottom of the ninth. Bone is in center field. Will Venable goes to right. Ryan Ludwig goes to the bench. Heath Bell got the final out of the 8th inning. You got Troy Tulowitzki to fly to right field with 2 men aboard. 7-4 San Diego. The Rockies need traffic. Todd Helton, Melvin Mora, Seth Smith. And if the Rockies can get 2 on, you'll see the big man, Jason Giambi. 3 RBIs tonight for Carlos Gonzalez. The other ribby owned by Helton, a sac fly in the 4th. Seven runs, 16 hits for San Diego. And strike 1.
Yeah, I don't know who told everybody that their club wasn't hitting too good, but they lied because they've swung it pretty good in here. And they've been very aggressive early in games. Yesterday and then again today, too.
Yeah, they really got after Jason Hamill in that first inning. Jumped on first pitch fastballs.
But the key is the Rockies can't continue to use 6 to 7 pitchers to get 9 innings done. Can't do it.
Carlos Gonzalez now tutoring a young player to the big leagues. He may not be any older than him. In fact, he may be younger than
because
Escalona.
Of what Carlos has accomplished, that's why. And you can see Escalona, he's disappointed right now because he walked 2 intentionally. He had a couple of base hits. He gave up a run. But you got to get past that and you got to go pitch. I mean, you know, this is the thing about it. He was in danger of walking in a run on a 3-2 count on a pitcher. And Escalona has had an opportunity at times to be very, very special type pitcher. But he can lose his focus and concentration, and that's not going to do you any good. It's all maturity.
2-2 on top. Base hit in center field. This one hunting the gap. And it is going to be a double for Helton. That's a good start.
fastball up. Helton didn't try to do a whole lot with it. A little bit away from him. And Todd still has that gap power that he has the ability to go do a little damage.
Melvin Mora at the plate. Good idea. Helton's 526th career double. He's tied for 34th on the all-time list with a wonderful player for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Dave Parker. Off the plate, it is 2-0. Really quickly to finish that scene we just saw. We'll learn a little bit more about Carlos Gonzalez. Marvelous talent, great kid, and a developing leader, George, huh?
Well, you hope so. I really think that's how young Latin players survive, even in A-ball and Double-A, all the way down. It's because they have somebody they can talk to that's been through the wars a little bit. And it's somebody that can relate to them, and when they say enough, they pay attention as if it's dad speaking.
2-1. Melvin lines it down the right field line into the corner. Helton's going to score easily. Moore to second base. Rockies never say die. 7-5. Those are two rockets to greet Heath Bell in the ninth inning.
Yeah, they sure were. Absolute rockets. Fastball away again. He hadn't gone to the slider much at all. Try to overpower the ball by people, and you're facing very good fastball hitters. That shot in the corner scored Helton. The Rockies now trail it by 2. You know, let's hope you get back in this thing and tie this thing up or put yourself in a position. And it's there now to where you're going to see Giambi get a chance to win this ball game.
Now, Seth Smith has the ability to tie it up easily.
First breaking ball he's thrown of the inning.
Not easy to hit home runs, but Seth Smith has second deck power. 17 home runs this year for Smith. Here's the 0-1. 1-1. Olivo's on deck. And then you have the spot where you would see Jason Giambi, the pitcher spot. Nobody out. Moore at second. Back-to-back doubles. Bell with 41 saves. A year ago, he set his career high with 42. He's one of the elite closers in the game. One of the reasons the Padres sit 19 games above 500. But Bud Black doesn't feel real comfortable right now. I guarantee that. 2-2. Jay Payton also with a helmet on. In the air to shallow left, and it's going to be gloved by Cunningham.
Almost a misread by Cunningham in left field. I think he thought that ball was hit a lot harder than it was.
Olivo is being called back, and Jay Payton is going to hit for Miguel Olivo.
Now, a little pop in his bat, maybe rested bat. Last night he hit a double. Another look at Cunningham's hustle play in the outfield. Against Bell in the career, Olivo's 0 for 3, Payton's 0 for 1. For whatever reason, ball on the ground to keep the inning alive. Utilize his speed in that respect.
And sometimes, George, managers just play hunches. Payton lined the ball yesterday to deep right center field. The one hopped over the fence. Ground rule double.
Good fastball hitter. He got a good fastball on the mound, too, in Jay Bell. Or Heath Bell, excuse me.
Moore at second.
Slider
for a strike. An added veteran player. Usually this time of year when you're making call-ups, they're all young players. But talking to Jim Tracy before the game, he has the utmost confidence in Jay Payton. And a line drive base hit toward the gap in left center. Here comes Moore to the plate. Jay Payton comes through. And now the winning run will come up in the big man. Just playing a hunch. And it paid off.
Yes, it did. And now you get the big man to the plate in Giambi. He's 1 for 5 against Heath Bell, but he has seemed to thrive as he did a year ago. In these situations, you see the average, just 219, but 2 home runs and 8 RBIs for Giambi as a pinch hitter. This is his time.
And with 1 out, George, as you mentioned, you have great speed at first base because just like Melvin Moore, there are a few players in their late 30s in any better shape than Mr. Payton. Here we go. Ball 1 on Giambi. Eric Young is on deck. 2 in. It is 7-6. And I know what you're thinking at home. That run at the top of the 9th. Real big right now.
And it is. They're thinking right. That is a very big run.
Two and out. If Will Venable was any deeper in right field, he'd be operating the scoreboard. I mean, look in the right corner of your screen. Hey, George, he's a step from the warning track.
Yeah, he is. And same thing, kind of really the rest of the outfield playing extremely deep. You know, I don't understand the no double routine, but Gwynn's had a dive stopping 2 balls into the gap here.
2-0. Not a pitch Giambi like, but it was in the zone. 2-1. The whole thought process now, prevent Jay Payton at first from scoring on a ball in the gap. You want to stay away from that power.
Pitches in the outing for Bell, too, and he pitched in last night's ball game. Rockies don't win this. It'll be kind of hard for him to be back in the game tomorrow with that number of pitches thrown. That helps you out of their bullpen.
3-1. Ball 4, and now the tying run goes to second. The winning run to first. They'll get a pinch runner for Giambi as he tags the bag. Here comes Chris Nelson. Eric Young will come up. And Young swings the bat a little bit better from this side of the plate. And you put pressure, George, on that infield defense.
Well, that's why you pinch run Nelson. Even a ball in the gap, the chance is, 1, he's going to score. 2, it's going to be difficult to turn the double play ball.
Eric Young 0 for 4. Jay Payton at second. Tying run. Chris Nelson winning run at first. In there for a strike. Fowler's on deck.
Ground ball is short. They got a hustle. Out at first, double play.
First time that Eric Young Jr. has been doubled up this year in a Rockies uniform.
And the Padres survived 7-6. Eric Young hit it in the only place that he could be doubled up. A hard ground ball moving Tejada close to the bag. If there's any sort of exchange, you're not going to double up Eric Young, and Fowler's going to get the hit. Well, the Rockies gave Heath Bell all he wanted in the 9th inning. And that extra run that San Diego produced in the top of the 9th proves very costly. Tonight's delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy John's. John Garland was good. He has not been good of late. He was terrific tonight. 7 innings, just 1 earned run. And he also was 2 for 2 and a walk at the plate. Let's not forget that. Garland improves to 14-11. Jason Hamill falls to 10-8. Bell picks off his 42nd save, and the Padres have come to Denver and won the first 2. First time they've won a series in 6 tries this year against Colorado. Stick around. The post-game report is up next.